arm's feeling as good as it can right now. The doctors are taking really good care of me. It's going to have to take a lot. It's going to have to. I love playing football. I love being a Razorback. I love going out there getting wins like that. That's what it's meant for, just to be able to play through pain. Football's a painful game, so if there's no pain in it, then nothing's going to happen and getting done. So it's going to have to take a lot. It's going to have to come falling off, but they're taking care of me.
Grant, I believe that was following the Ole Miss victory, and you were playing what looked like one arm in that football game. You got a pick six that really sealed the deal for you guys. Toughness is a mentality that your brother had, that you have. Where'd you get it, man? Is that just in the family? Like, where did you learn the level of toughness that you've shown throughout your career as a Razorback?
I would say it's from my family. We were just brought up to be tough. We were brought up to be able to get the job done no matter what it took. So I just started with my dad and mom, and it led to Drew and me. So that's just what we've always done. It's what we've always known. So it's when you do everything the same way, that's how you do it, and there's no other way to do it.
So, Grant, kind of paint the picture what life looks like as a graduated football player right now that has an upcoming season. I know you'll have classes when you come back a little bit for grad school, but just in the summer, what are you and your teammates going through when it's not, you don't have fall practice, don't really have summer stuff, you have workouts, but what is your next couple of months like leading up to fall camp?
Yeah, so our next couple months are to do as much as we can without the coaches. This is where we took a step last year and started to become a player-led team. A lot of us got together and we started doing player-led practices without anything, without any coaches, without any equipment people out there. It's just players only. So this next few months, we're going to do the exact same thing but amp it up a bit. It'll help KJ out a lot too. So I'll get the defense together and we'll be able to run legit practices with just us. We'll do this once or twice a week. I think this is where we took a step forward on just like play recognition with us and just be able to communicate and be able to understand each other who's around you. And it helps the young guys develop more. We have a lot of guys coming in this summer, defense and offensively, that are going to have to play early. So we just got to have them going and got to have them ready to go.
Grant, you got thanks for joining us. Number one, you got married last year, and that's not normally a question or a conversation we have with a current athlete. What's that like, and how's that transition been in your life, being a married student athlete? Because that's not very common in today's times. Yeah,
it's definitely not common. But I guess I'm not a common person, if you could see. So I love it. We've been together for 7-8 years. We met in high school. We both moved to Greenwood, and she pushes me harder than anyone, I promise you. If she wasn't the perfect one, I wouldn't have done it. And the way that she pushes me is insane. She's a perfect human being, because the way that I've gotten so much better in every aspect of my life is because of her. She likes to say it's nothing to do with her, but that's just the type of girl she is. So it's been fun. It's been different because I have to be able to put up with her and her stuff that she brought along with it, like clothes and stuff. And I didn't realize living with a woman would be like that. But I wouldn't want it any other way. And she's helped me out at times.
Oh, I've got 17 years under my belt, and it will change, and the amount and the pairs of shoes will grow as because their feet doesn't change. So let me just tell you better build her a big closet someday, because Grant, you're gonna have a lot of shoes to deal with somewhere down the road.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So what's the one thing from married life that you maybe learn? You talk about it's Sydney, right?
Yes.
What Sydney taught you, maybe, or what have you learned in marriage that maybe carries over? You talking about her pushing you and driving you. What's the one thing you've learned in marriage you didn't expect that maybe will help you as a football player?
I think the one thing would be trust and patience. I think
patience is a good one.
Yes, patience is huge. And with me as a football player and me wanting to do everything when I want to, when I need it done, as a person who was living by themselves with other football guys, like I did it whenever I wanted to because it was my place, is my own time. Now you have to trust that they're going to be there, do that. And honestly, like, that is football. If you think about it, like, you're always trusting somebody to be in the right spot. You're always trusting them. You got to be patient for your time to be able to go. Like, Heck, I waited 4 years to get a start, and this is how it ended up. I'd say it correlates with football just as well.
Talking with Grant Morgan here on the Morning Rush. Grant, when you go to your recruiting profile on Rivals or 24/7, there's not a lot there, and you have somehow, some way, through hard work, through dedication, made yourself not just one of the best linebackers in the SEC, but one of the best in college football, and there's a reason you were a Burlsworth finalist this past year. Of all the stuff that you've gone through to get to this point as now a starting linebacker for the Arkansas Razorbacks, what's been the most difficult part of this process?
First off, I didn't even know I had a Rivals recruiting page. That's funny. But I would say one of the hardest things that I've had to deal with is my confidence level is very high, and I guess y'all are both going, no, there's no way, like, because you know Morgan's. But both of us, like, for me, it was super, like, I'm super confident. So me saying, like, I know I can play. I know I can do better. I know I can play that exactly the way he did that. And then having to wait those 4 years, so it goes back to patience, I guess. It was hard to sit there and just play special teams when I know I could contribute on defense. And I did, but I wanted to be the guy. I wanted to be the guy who they called on third and fourth down to be able to make a stop. So the patience of waiting those 4 years and just practicing my butt off every single day. Like, if anyone ever says, like, oh, Grant Morgan's all Arkansas, he didn't think about transferring, they're lying. Because, like, every doubt that went through my mind thought, okay, I could transfer and I'd go play somewhere, but I didn't want to. In the back of my mind, I knew I could play here. I walked on here for a reason because I knew I could get it done. And I was going to prove everyone wrong who still doubted me 3 years into this program. When Coach Pitt came and Coach Odom came, like, I knew it was my time. I knew it was ready to go. And I knew I needed everything I needed. It was in front of me. So that was probably the hardest thing. But at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't change anything for anything in the world. I wouldn't change to go be a 5-star recruit going to Bama. I wouldn't do that because my journey is this, and I know it's in front of me still, and I know I'm going to keep pushing for it.
Grant, you kind of laid out what your next couple of months look like with this football team. A lot of player-led stuff. September, I'm assuming, can't get here soon enough for you when you guys take on the Rice Owls to open up this season. Is the gap in between, is that one of those things you wish it was a little longer so you guys could keep getting better, getting stronger, getting faster? Or are you ready for this game to happen tomorrow, man?
Me personally, I want to play every single game right now. I want to have LSU in Baton Rouge right now. But that's not. I wish that's how it went. But as a team, I know we have more work to do. We're on the right path. We have the right leader, as Coach Pittman and Coach Odom, Coach Browse. Like, they're pushing us the way we need to be pushed. We need more help. We really do. We need guys to step up, and we have them. We have them here. We have the guys to be able to play and make very good contribution here at Arkansas. And with our recruits coming in, we need to get more guys on the bus and be able to get in there on third down in an SEC game and to make contributions. And we have them, and they're making steps, and they're getting a lot better. I can name probably 15 people that have done so much better than anyone would think just in this past winter and spring. So I think we need this summer. I think we need to be able to continue to get faster. I don't think we need any more time than what we have. But we need to be able to continue to push this summer. And I know our guys will. Our guys, we've come, at my 5 years or whatever years being here at Arkansas, there's never been a team that has attacked every single day like this team that I've been on right now. And it really is something special to see this because I can kind of see it in the fruition that it's going to be. But it's really fun to watch, especially as a guy who's, I'm a leader here on the team. And it's just, to be able to see them grow and the younger guys step up and be leaders themselves is just so fun to watch.
Grant Morgan with us here on the Morning Rush. Your older brother, Drew, played wide receiver at Arkansas. He's coaching high school football right now. What kind of older brother was he? He's been on the show with us before. High energy guy, a lot of fun. Any great stories from backyard football brawls? I know my kids get in Nerf gun fights. What'd you two get into? What kind of trouble did y'all get into growing up?
Well, a lot of trouble. We got into the typical brother stuff. I was always the driver. So whenever we had to go somewhere and Drew didn't want to get in trouble for driving, driving like away, sneaking out at night, it would always be, Grant, drive me so whenever we get caught, you get in trouble, and I just get in trouble for sneaking out with you. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I get to drive. I'm 13 years old. This is fun.
Whoa. You were driving him at 13? So what would that have made him? 15, 16? Well, 2 years?
Yeah, he was 16, so it was his truck. He was 16 years old.
That's quite some logic from your older brother.
So Drew's 16, you're 13, and you're driving the 16-year-old. Okay, I like this story where it's going.
Because someone had to, whenever we'd go and meet up with his friends, he would have to get out of the truck, and I'd still have to hide the truck or something. So it's definitely some backyard brother stuff.
Did y'all ever get caught sneaking out? Did Dad ever catch you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what happened then?
What sucks is Drew's truck had pipes on it louder than a semi, so we'd have to push it out of our garage. So we wouldn't turn it on. We'd put it in neutral and push it out of our garage, so no one would hear us. And then about half a mile down the street, we turn it on, but it was so loud our parents would still hear it. But it was definitely fun and games until old Matt Morgan comes around with the belt and you get a little beat.
Get you back in line. So who was harder?
Yeah, he would.
Who was harder on you, Matt? Who was harder on you, Dad or Rick Jones?
Oh, by far, my dad. Coach Jones. He's hard on you, but he's got a soft spot. He loves so much. He's such a good guy. He's got a little soft spot in him.
Man, that's a great story there, Grant. We're talking with Grant Morgan here on the Morning Rush. Grant, Clay Henry wrote a piece, and he talked with your teammate Jalen Catalon, and he talked with some Razorback greats like Steve Atwater, Kanoa Kennedy, and others about what you'd rather have as a defender, a forced fumble and pickup, or would you rather have an interception? And I'm going to twist it a little bit. You had a pick six against Ole Miss and Matt Corral that really sealed the deal, and then you've had a forced fumble or two here and there and a recovery. As a defender, are you taking the pick six, or are you taking the forced fumble and picking that sucker up to the house? Which one is more exciting to you as a linebacker?
As a linebacker, I think a big hit forced fumble is something that just says a statement about you as a player. It kind of shows that you just kind of hit stick somebody. If you can give a big hit, get a forced fumble, then you have you know what I think of right there? I think of Jadeveon Clowney against Michigan. Yeah. And when he went through the backfield and ended up getting that forced fumble and picked the own ball up with one hand, that's what I think of. I think that's a little bit better. But throwing back to Greenwood days as a receiver, I would pick sixes are fun because you get to turn back into a receiver and you get to run around a little bit. You get to make people miss. So, but I'd say forced fumble just because you kind of assert your dominance on somebody.
You know, I'm sure when you had kind of things planned out early in your college career, coming out of high school, continuing to play at this point, at this age, you probably thought it would be at the next level. But beyond football, what are your plans? Where do you see yourself down the road? Old man question here. Where do you want life to end up for you in 4 or 5 years? Yeah,
so I have my undergrad and my master's already. So I'm just kind of taking random classes now. So
what are those degrees in? What are your degrees in?
My undergrad was in pre-med kinesiology, and then my master's is in operations management. So I can do literally with both of those, I can do so many paths, and that's what's scary for me is like I know what I want to do in football, and I know I want to last as long as I can in football and play as long as I can. But as soon as that's done, I have like 6 different avenues I'd like to take. That's what's scary. I need to just decide on one, but in my mind, I don't care. I'm waiting until football's done, and then I'll help out and decide. I'm trying to be the best person I can today to be able to make a lot of relationships so I know wherever I can go after that.
You said pre-med and kinesiology and then operations management?
Yes, operations management.
How do those two – those two don't sound like they pair well together.
They don't. That's what's great. They don't at all.
Good for you, man.
So
Good
my operations man, I wanted to get more of a business background after getting my pre-med degree. I wanted to get a more business background so I can be able to help own a practice. My ultimate goal in life is one day I want to help start a hospital or help run a hospital. That is my ultimate goal. No matter, say I go into investments whenever I make it large in the NFL, which is the best case scenario, I want to be able to help start a hospital, like a research hospital, and be able to fund it and be able to go from there.
And
about that?
That is awesome. That is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Good for you. Good for you.
Grant, before we let you go, I know you were in our neck of the woods this weekend. How was your trip over to Blue Ember Smokehouse? They're part of our buddies here on ESPN Arkansas.
Oh, it was awesome. The food is great. The people back there, they're great people. I've known them for so long too, just because growing up with all of them. So it's good to see that, and the way they have it is cool. Like they get to make like the meat and everything like right in front of you. So it's pretty cool. It's awesome. Those smokers are huge.
Boy.
But it was really good barbecue.
Yeah.
I had it for the first time on Monday. It was fantastic.
That's the one I'd like in my backyard. So, Dave, I can hit it big.
I don't know if you want the price tag associated with
I don't
what
know.
they told me. Well, Grant, we really appreciate your time this morning. I know it's a few months still out from y'all's first game, but there's going to be a lot of football conversation leading up, and best in luck in what technically is the off season, and just y'all keep getting stronger, keep getting faster, keep working on the player-led stuff, and we'll hopefully get a chance to catch up with you in press conference and later conversations getting closer to football season, man.
Yeah, definitely. It was fun. Thanks for having me, Ty and Tommy.
All right, man. Thanks. Man, he's such a good guy. So, you want to call them kids. They're not kids anymore. Grown man. But
you can't call a married man a kid,
no,
can
you
you?
can't. But
call me a kid, but I don't think he qualifies in that category.
Not at all. But undergrad and master's degree already, and 2 different fields. Good on him. And I know of anyone listening that it's a Greenwood Bulldog or just knows that family. He'll be awfully proud of what he's not just not what he's done on the football field, but you could just hear it. Married, 2 college degrees at this point. He's no matter what happens on the football field, he's already a winner. You could already hear that.
Yeah, he and I also appreciate the fun side too of the story he told about him and Drew. So those were fantastic. That will definitely be in the Bud Light Seltzer Morning Rush podcast that I'll post after the show this morning.
Yeah, you hadn't heard the last of that one. Yeah, that was fun stuff there with Grant, and looking forward to having him back at some point.